Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Evan Robinson with West Coast Cajun Cuisine. And today's video, grilled steak and lobster. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here and you're interested in learning how to cook authentic Cajun cuisine, comfort food, and just about anything for that matter, then you've come to the right place. Click that subscription button and that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Now today's video is the third part of our 3-video series on this wonderful steak dinner that I made for my birthday. Now the first video, which is going to be a card up here in the corner, was the vegetable puree. It was a cauliflower and roasted garlic puree, and then we made a roasted red bell pepper puree as well. Super delicious. And then the second video was the grilled lobster. Now we made a New Orleans style barbecue shrimp sauce to baste these lobsters in while they were grilling. Super delicious, man. Crazy good. You got to check that video out. That'll be a card up in the corner as well. And today is the finale of the series. All right, this is the steak. We're going to season them up. I'm going to get the grill ready, and we're going to do a technique called reverse searing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set our grill up for indirect cooking. Okay, now what that means is I'm going to have the coals on one side and nothing on the other, right? So it's kind of set up like an oven. We're going to get the steaks up to temp. And then we're going to put them right over the coals and get a nice little crust on them. And it's going to be super delicious. And you'll see this whole process as we go along. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get to the kitchen and get to cooking. I have this New York strip that I took out of the refrigerator about 30 minutes ago. Let it sit out, come up to room temperature, and that way it'll cook evenly. Now I'm going to season it, and I'm using my own personal Cajun seasoning blend. And the reason why I'm putting Cajun seasoning on this steak is because I'm looking for a certain flavor profile that's going to pair well with the lobster that we grilled earlier. You season your steak however you want, but if you want to match what's going on in the video, then find your favorite Cajun seasoning and use that. Alright, I got my grill set to about 275 degrees. We're going to put the steaks on the cool side over here because we want that indirect cooking. And I'm going to cook them till they come up to a temperature of about 130. Alright, I like my steaks a little bit more well done than medium rare. But if you like yours medium rare, then pull them off at about 125 or so and then sear. Alright, now that our steaks have come up to temp, we're going to go ahead and put them straight over the top of the coals so that we can get a nice sear. And we're only going to put them on there for, 60 to 90 seconds. Just enough to get a little color on them. We're going to flip them and do the same. We're going to pull them, let them rest. Steak's been resting for about 15 minutes, and now we're going to cut it into strips. And if you guys have followed the last 2 videos, you'll understand why I'm cutting it up this way. And this steak has come out exactly where I wanted it, right in between that medium rare and medium. Okay, now you cook your steak how you want it. This is all preference, all right? But from here, we're going to get this cut up to plate, but I have a bonus for you. I'm going to show you guys how I make this red wine reduction sauce that we're going to put over the steak. Man, you talk about good stuff. I'm going to start off by getting our vegetables prepped. Now I have some onion, some carrots, some celery here, that typical mirepoix that we're going to get going. And then we're going to add some garlic as well. And you just want to give this a rough chop, okay? Nothing special because we're going to strain it here in a little bit. Alright, I got a Dutch oven heated up to about a medium-high heat. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of olive oil. Now what I did is I went to my local grocery store and I found just some cheap, already chopped up meat. It cost me like $5. It was called taco meat. I'm not exactly sure what cut it is. I know it's beef. Just go find you some stew meat, or if you have like already cut up taco meat like this, go ahead and get that. Just something cheap. And we're going to season it with some Cajun seasoning, because basically what I'm doing is I'm just going to saute it, and what I want is to build up a nice dark fond on the bottom of this Dutch oven, okay? So I'm going to saute it until I get those nice dark sticky bits on the bottom, as you see here. And now I'm just going to remove the meat. And then what we're going to do is we're going to deglaze the pan. Now that we have the meat removed, I added another teaspoon of olive oil just to kind of help out these vegetables. I'm going to saute them for about 30 seconds. And then I'm going to add a pinch of salt. And the salt's going to help remove some of the moisture from the vegetables. And then we're going to saute it for maybe another 30 seconds or so. And then I'm going to add the red wine. I'm using Merlot. Now, you could use whatever red wine you like to drink, whether it's a blend. A Cabernet works really, really well with this recipe. And as a matter of fact, I'd rather use a Cabernet, but I didn't have any at the time. I had Merlot. That's what I used, and it still turned out delicious. We reduced the heat down to a medium low. I want to bring this down to a simmer. Right now, I'm just scraping all that yumminess off the bottom, and then I'm going to let it sit just long enough to cook that alcohol out and reduce it by half. Anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes. Just make sure you keep an eye on it. Okay, we've went ahead and reduced this quite a bit, and we're just going to give it a quick mix, and then we're going to add the beef stock. Now that I have the stock in here, I'm just going to give this a quick mix, and then I'm going to add a small sprig of parsley and thyme to this. Alright, give it a quick mix. Bring this up to a boil, then drop it down to a simmer and let it sit until it reduces down to about 1.5 cups to a cup of liquid. Just keep an eye on it, stir it occasionally, you'll be good to go. Alright, now we want to strain this through a fine mesh strainer, and then what we want to do is we'll get our wooden spoon that we've been using to stir this with, and we're going to press as much of that liquid out as we can. Now it's time to plate up. We're going to start off by laying down some of that cauliflower and roasted garlic puree, and then we're going to put the steak over the top of that. Now guys, make sure you check out the last 2 videos we did so you could see how we made the vegetable purees and the grilled lobster, which is going down next. Alright, now once I get the grilled lobster down, what I did was I just made a little side of potatoes and carrots. Now you make whatever side dish you like you think would go good with your steak and lobster. If you're interested to see how I did this one, let me know in the comments below. I'll make a little video on that. Now we're going to put the red wine reduction sauce over the steak. Man, you talk about take that steak to level 11. Super delicious. And then we're just going to go down with some roasted red bell pepper puree, and then we'll put a little bit more of that cauliflower puree, and this is the end result. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen, grilled steak and lobster. I hope you liked this video, and if so, give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought. And look, next week I have a special video for you. It is a New Orleans classic, the muffaletta sandwich. You talk about super delicious, and I'm going to show you the original recipe that is over 100 years old from Central Grocery. I even went so far as to order the Central Grocery olive salad. Listen, if you don't know what that is, you're going to be able to find out everything about that sandwich here in the next video. And if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscription button and that notification bell so you don't miss it. And while you're here, check out one of the other videos on the channel, and I'll see you there.